My friends, how are you? It's fantastic to see you for yet another video. And I know it's all over the news, it's everywhere, but did you guys know that yesterday Donald Trump threatened to murder Democrats yet again? Yeah, this is a thing that obviously keeps happening in our country with Donald Trump as he continues to escalate the violent rhetoric in this country. And I know this all went on yesterday. I knew about all of it. I had barely gotten into the story when instead yesterday I decided to make a video making fun of a broke-ass Trump supporter that had just finished trying to convince me that Donald Trump has created the best economy the world has ever seen, and then went on to ask me if he could have my $2,000 tariff refund check that Donald Trump promised everyone. And I know I wasn't up on the breaking news yesterday, but sometimes it's just about the video I'm filling, the video I feel like making. And you know what? If you give me the opportunity to make fun of Trump supporters in a video, I'm going to take that opportunity almost every time. It's part of the reason that I stopped blocking the Trump supporters. Now, I block them a lot in the comments because they get very violent, like we're going to discuss in today's video. But I've decided as long as they can remain slightly a little bit not so unhinged, then I let them hang out here, because you never know when a Trump supporter is going to give me material for a video that's going to get 40,000 fucking views. And I thank him so much for his stupidity and the future stupidity of Trump supporters that allow me to do things like that. So that's why I didn't cover this story yesterday, but you guys know all about it, and we're going to talk about it today and sort of my point of view on the entire thing. So yesterday, some elected Democrats, and I unfortunately don't have their names right in front of me, they had made I guess it's sort of like a commercial or a video where they were discussing, these are all, as far as I understand, all veterans of the United States military in some form or another, and they had made a video discussing, like you guys corrected me on yesterday, which I appreciate. Always correct me if I'm fucking something up. It makes me better at this YouTube stuff. But yesterday I had said their right to refuse an unlawful order, and I got many comments that said, no, you got this wrong. It is their duty to deny an unlawful order. You guys had corrected me on that, and I appreciate that. But that was basically the premise of the video that they put out, because what these elected representatives understand is that Donald Trump is a criminal. He loves breaking laws, and he does his best to get other people to break the laws for him, and then they take the fall while Donald Trump gets off scot-free every damn time. And we do have Donald Trump breaking laws currently as it applies to the United States military. You know how he's just blowing up fishing boats in the ocean right now? Nobody really knows if that's legal or not, and there's been legal questions about it. And as far as I can tell, look, I'm just a trucker, my friends, but it is not a legal thing that they're doing, and they are lying their asses off the entire time, saying it's fentanyl, they're getting all the fentanyl, that's why they're blowing up fishermen out in the fucking ocean. And unfortunately, somebody somewhere along the line probably that was just following orders is going to face charges for these illegal blowing up thing we're doing of the fucking fishing boats. And that may have been part of why they were doing it, but also Donald Trump's repeated threats to turn the military on the American people. They were sounding the alarm. They were saying, listen, you need to know that you don't have to do this. There are orders, and there are unlawful orders, and you need to understand that the United States representatives are going to back you up and defend you in the event that you get in trouble for disobeying an unlawful order. And that is unfortunate that we live in an America where that public service announcement even has to be fucking made. But we have a criminal president, and that's kind of the shit we got to deal with now, isn't it, my friends? But good for them for coming out and saying it. And the reason I decided to jump in and make this video is I believe it was Mark Kelly. It might have been another one of them that was involved in this video, but I believe it was Mark Kelly that said anybody that has any kind of platform needs to speak up and speak out against this, because this is a really, really big fucking problem, and that's why I'm here today, baby. I can respect that. I will step up and do the best I can in this very video. So Donald Trump, the fucking baby that he is, finds out about this video and goes on a goddamn tirade where he accuses these people that have actually served in the military, not like Donald Trump, who was rich enough to get a doctor, use his dad's money to get a doctor to say that he has bone spurs so that he can dodge the draft. These are actual military veterans who Donald Trump starts referring to as traitors over on the Truth Social. And we have to understand how powerful those fucking words are coming from the President of the United States. Like me, I am fully aware that Donald Trump and Donald Trump's regime are traitors to the United States of America. However, I have no pull in this country. I am just a truck driver with a bit of a following on the internet, but I don't have any legal authority. I don't have any command of a military or anything like that. This is Donald Trump, the President of the United States, fucking like it or not, referring to people as traitors. It was the same thing when he went after Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling her a traitor. Well, the penalty for being a traitor is execution. That's the way that works. So when Donald Trump says that people are traitors, he is calling for the execution of them. And look, you don't actually have to read between the lines on this, though, because after that, somebody else had posted to Donald Trump, said, hang them all. That's what George Washington would do, which Donald Trump reposted. The President of the United States reposted, hang 'em all. That's what's going on here. Donald Trump is once again openly calling for the death of American citizens, American politicians that are opposed to him. And I got to be honest, we've gotten to the point in America where that doesn't really intimidate me or scare me at all at this point. There used to be a time when Donald Trump would do his saber rattling and I'd be like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do? I don't give a fuck, Donald. If that's what you think you're going to do, is just kill people that disagree with you, I'd rather to have that than live in the America that Donald Trump and the MAGA movement want to create for us. So fuck, do your worst, baby. Do your fucking worst. But the big thing I want to talk about on this, the reason I really wanted to take on this topic, do you guys remember? It was just about 2 short months ago. There was a guy named Charlie Kirk that was out giving another one of his hate rallies, and he got shot during his hate rally, and he was killed. And what was the first thing that the right wing did? All of the right wing propaganda media like Fox News immediately went and they called for our heads. They called for civil war against the Democrats in America without even knowing who it was that shot Charlie Kirk. And on a little bit of a side note, still highly fucking suspicious, right? I have never had to take back what I said about it, because he was raised in rural Utah, amongst the church, amongst gun culture, all of those things, which to me screams fucking right-winger, right? And then there were the suspicious text messages from the alleged shooter to his alleged roommate. Oh my God, we're so transgender. Oh my God, where did I put my murder weapon? I'm just saying the whole thing was a little bit fucking suspicious, okay? And in the 2 months that have passed, complete fucking silence. We don't know anything else as far as I know. And admittedly, I'm not keeping up on that story, like really watching it, but you would think if we knew anything more about the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk, it would be all over the internet and all over the news. Suspiciously fucking quiet now, isn't it? But to make it just a little bit more weird, after that, Netanyahu came out, like 4 times insisting that he did not have Charlie Kirk killed. I don't know, man. It seems like there's a lot of wacky shit going on, right? But immediately after, people like Jesse Waters, that candy ass little bitch Jesse Waters, my God, starts calling for civil war on Fox News, and it's time to round up the Democrats, it's time to execute the Democrats, it's time for fucking war. What did they do after that? They started calling for the left to ratchet down their violent rhetoric. And do you guys know what I did? You guys remember, right? It was just 2 months ago. I made a video discussing Charlie Kirk getting killed, and I put the blame squarely where it fucking belonged. And you want to know who got the blame for that? Donald Trump got the blame for that. And of course, I was accused of making videos celebrating Charlie Kirk's death because in the MAGA movement, the meaning of words doesn't matter anymore. I don't have a goddamn video like that. But what I was refusing to do was take any kind of responsibility for the escalating rhetoric and the escalating violence in this country when it comes from the top down. The President of the United States is the one that is always calling for violence and always escalating violence in America. And if I'm wrong, why are we even having this conversation where yesterday Donald Trump called for the execution of elected Democrats in the United States because they said that the military has the duty to, however you say it, to not take on an unlawful order. I'm sorry, I keep fucking up the terminology to that. I just don't remember exactly how it's said. You understand. But because Donald Trump wants to break laws, that greatly fucking offended him, right? But yes, the blame for Charlie Kirk falls squarely on the shoulders of Donald Trump and Stephen Miller, even Charlie Kirk, who escalated his own violent rhetoric every fucking chance he got. Now, I want to be clear. Obviously, this should go without saying. This channel does not promote violence against people, period, at all, or animals, or if it's a fly, like you guys saw me fighting with the fly in the truck not that long ago, that little son of a bitch had it coming. What happened to him? If it's goddamn tick like I had in the truck a while ago, I encourage violence against the tick, of course, but not against other people. I do not do that. But the point I'm trying to make here is when you live in a country where the supposed leader of that country continues over and over to escalate violent rhetoric towards his own citizens, you turn the country into a fucking powder keg. That's what happens. That's exactly what happens. So, it could come from any fucking direction at this point, as Donald Trump has once again escalated violent rhetoric in America, because you create the response in a lot of different fucking ways. Any one of these elected representatives could be targets of violence now because Donald Trump has publicly called for their execution, once again for making a video encouraging the military to follow the fucking law. Can you believe that that's what we're talking about? So, any one of these Donald Trump lunatics, these MAGA dorks that go straight to violence because they don't know how to do anything else, any one of these 1,600 people that Donald Trump pardoned for their part in the violent insurrection could go out, and now they have a green light to go out and commit a violent act on Donald Trump's behalf. And if you're lucky, Donald Trump will pardon you. He will do whatever he can to make sure that you don't get in any trouble for that. That is the message that Donald Trump has sent to his loyal followers in America. So now every one of these people's lives are in danger because Donald Trump's behavior on the internet yesterday. But there is also another aspect of this that I don't think we look at enough. Now, once again, there are millions of Americans that are concerned for their own safety in America because they believe the same thing that these elected Democrats believe in, and the belief is that the military should do things the legal way, right? So now you've got millions of more scared Americans because the President of the United States is once again lashing out at them for not falling in lockstep with him, and at any moment, any one of these scared people in America could react in a violent way. Like I said, I'm not supporting it. When you put people on the fucking ropes and you got them worried every day that their own government is going to take them the fuck out, it is not shocking that they may respond in a violent nature as self-preservation to try to protect themselves from the President of the United States threatening to harm them. All right? So there's a lot of different ways to look at that. That's why when I look back on the Charlie Kirk thing, I don't personally give a fuck what side of the political spectrum the shooter was on. I do think it's odd that we don't hear anything about it, but it doesn't matter because Donald Trump's violent rhetoric is escalating the violent behavior across the board in this country. We don't know who we can trust. We don't know who's planning to kill us because Donald Trump said to fucking do it. And me as a truck driver out here running all over fucking MAGA land in my truck with a very very recognizable hat and this very generic face that's the damn hat that gives it away, I have been told repeatedly that violence is coming my way on behalf of Donald Trump. And it is absolutely crazy to think I'm just going to stand there and take it. I 100% will defend myself in the event that that comes up. That's fucking crazy that people think this way. And when we get to back to the point about how the right was, after they threatened a civil war against us, then they started talking about how the violent left needs to bring down the temperature, needs to cool things down. They never once asked for Donald Trump to bring down the temperature. They never once put any blame on Donald Trump for the way that he acts. They solely came to us and said it was our responsibility to bring the temperature down in the country, even though Donald Trump was not going to do it. And here we are 2 months later. Millions of Democrats and people on the left and independents and even Republicans were just minding their business. And all of these people have the same thing in common. They also believe that the military should follow the law in this country. There are a lot of people out there that believe that. To the rest of us, to the normal, sane people in America, we did not see the harm in that fucking video. We did not see that as a negative thing whatsoever. The only negative I got from it is that it's a goddamn shame that in this country, we have to have a PSA put out like that because the president is a fucking lunatic, right? But we were just told 2 months ago, we all need to bring down the temperature. It is us that needs to stop with all the rhetoric. And it was some of us here on the internet that said, when Donald Trump does, we'll be happy to do that. So we're all just living our lives, minding our fucking business. When Donald Trump throws yet another fucking temper tantrum, goes to the internet to talk about the execution of the people that made that video. It is high time we stop asking for the left to bring down the temperature in this fucking country. It is consistently over and over Donald Trump that turns up the heat, that turns up the pressure, that threatens violence against more and more American people. And it's unacceptable and should be just yet another thing added to the list. I can't believe we have a list this long, but of the Donald Trump reasons to impeach and remove him from office and to put his dangerous ass behind bars for whatever days he has left. And that goes for every one of these fucking enablers out there too that are in his cabinet, that are elected representatives in the House and the Senate, all the way down to the local level, and every MAGA dork out there that supports this fucking behavior. Everybody needs to face the consequences for encouraging and participating in fascism in this fucking country. It is enough of all of this bullshit that we're going through. Don't ask us to turn down the temperature while the President of the United States is calling for executions of the American citizens. I gotta get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.